Hello, welcome back. Today I'm trying something new, and something I've been a guilty pleasure of mine is looking at Etsy listings, and not just shopping around. I will go into a search term or topic, and I will set the price to be like $10,000-$20,000 as a minimum, just to see what there is. And sometimes you get some absolutely gorgeous pieces and you're like, I wish I could afford that. That is gorgeous. And then other ones have you scratching your head why they exist or why it's priced the way it's priced. So I just enjoy looking at these things going, what was the thought process behind this listing? And I thought sharing this little guilty pleasure with you would be fun, and just to show a different side of the platform that most people are not going to see, because most people aren't looking to spend tens of thousands of dollars on an Etsy product. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to go through it and critique either the listing itself, give some notes on maybe some listing photos if it's like I know a thing or two about making listing photos. I have my own shop, or the art itself. We'll critique it as best I can. I am going to give a novice artist / regular person point of view for this, and just I want to see what the internet has. We'll look up a search topic and see what stuff is deep in the bowels of Etsy. Before we get into that, I'm going to give a quick disclaimer. I am not a professional artist. I am not a professional Etsy store owner. I am not an expert. And don't send hate to any of these store owners. Don't give them hate. Don't go out of your way to bother them. It's just a silly video on the internet of me giving a honest critique of the art or the listing itself. Use it to learn and use it to grow, but do not use it to hate. All right, with that being said, let's go look at some strange Etsy listings. Okay, in all honesty, I just talked for 20 minutes at my camera and I wasn't recording my screen. So we're going for round 2. All right, and it is recording. Abstract wall art print. And then we can filter it. I'm going to filter it by 25,000. And we're going to see. Now, I've said this 3 times already because I'm terrible at recording. But if the listing says ad, I will not be reviewing it. I will not be clicking it. Ads cost money when they are clicked. So if I see the listing that doesn't have ad on it, we'll talk about it. If it does, we're going to pass over. And the listings they're showing is different from the first time, which is great. Variety. So this one is a prime example of what I like to call my guilty pleasure. I like to see people, and there's a whole subreddit dedicated to this called Delusional Artists. This is a very novice and beginner level art piece, I will say. And not to diss it, not to say anything bad, but this art piece is very flat. There's a lot of issues on perspective. Honestly, if they tried working on their perspective, doing some drawings off pure perspective, they would definitely improve the art piece. It looks like everything is drawn on top of each other instead of in front of each other. The texture on the bushes, if they did use a smaller brush to get greater detail and maybe used a variety of different shades of greens instead of just the few they use, that would definitely be an improvement. The shading on the windows, using blue to shade yellow to give it I'm guessing a glass feel, is not it. And one thing that can help a lot with paintings, if you're doing small details that need a fine point, either using a really fine point paintbrush, or I like to use paint pens, which is great for getting small details. You can get more control. The only drawback is if you're left-handed, I don't know if this goes the same as right-handed, but you could drag your hand through the paint and make a mess. So this would be something you would have to paint over hours. Their listing photos are just, it looks like just 3 of the same zoomed in, and here's the biggest kicker. This is a digital piece. You're paying $51,000 for a digital file. Personally, if you want to sell your art, sell your art. You name the price, what it's worth to you is what it's worth to you. And the SEO on this listing looks fairly well. It is a great start for SEO, and the way they did the SEO makes me think that they're trying to get this out to people, that this isn't an original piece that they're selling to a specific audience, that they're going out advertising themselves. That this gives me the feeling that somebody just painted something and listed it in hopes that they would make the sale and change their lives. And unfortunately, the price tag does not meet the quality of the art or the skill level. This is a great baseline for any artist. We all start somewhere, and I think with some more practice and some more painting, some more experience with the canvas and how art and paint just interacts with each other and how different brushes give you different textures, I think they can really create some amazing work. So this is a perfect example of my guilty pleasure. And if you're looking for more art listings like this, r/delusional artists is one. Maybe we can do some art critiques of that in the future. So let's keep scrolling. Magical faces. So this one is a classic example of acrylic pouring. A lot of fine lines. You could tell that they put a lot of work into this. And Measuring Art Collection, they do graphics. Is this one abstract painting or multiple? It's hard to tell. Let's see what the video does. Okay, that doesn't do much. All right, so yeah, I mean, it's great detail. They use a consistent color palette throughout, and this is honestly what I would consider a classic piece of abstract art. This piece shifts into the fine art range, and with a piece like this, acrylic pouring is more expensive to do, especially if you're buying an original copy and not a print. This looks like it is the original piece. You're not buying a print, which is really nice. So hopefully, I'm thinking this art piece in particular is an artist using Etsy as a platform to sell, not as a platform to get their art out there. So they have their audience, they have a group of people. It says already in 6 carts here, so something tells me that this is a artist with a name behind them. They have a following, they know their market, and that's who they're selling to. So this listing, if I were trying to get it out there, I would work on my SEO a little bit, but if you are doing all the advertising, you do not need Etsy to do the legwork. All right, on to the next one. Modern landscape sculpture. That's neat. See, this is what's fun about Etsy. Their SEO doesn't always work, but that is a fun piece of artwork. And yeah, if that is, that is cool. Outdoor garden statue, steel. Yeah, this is like a full-blown sculpture that would be installed in your yard. So this one, the price tag makes a lot of sense. And honestly, I like the geometric shapes. It reminds me of some of the abstract perspective drawings I used to do, and I probably will still do in the future. So I quite like this. This is like a perspective practice drawing or perspective case study drawing, but sculpture form. I really like that. even though it's not technically an abstract print. And here's blood. This one's titled Blood Vinyl, and this one, honestly, this is a really cool piece of art. The white with the black, it looks like they used acrylic pouring techniques, but spun it on a turntable to get that centripetal force. So there's a lot of natural elements on how paint behaves. I really like this. If this was a print, it would definitely be going into my shopping cart. Again, the listing photos are all right. They give it a little bit of scale. I think they should use more listing photo spots. I think you should use as many listing photo slots as you can to really show the customer what you're looking for. I always try to fill them up. I know it's tough getting, like, it's either 8 or 10 photos and a video. It's tough getting it all in there, especially if it's just one painting. The title, it's just the name of the art piece and the year. I would recommend moving the title into the art piece title into the description and just pump that title full of SEO if you're looking to get it out there. If you're just selling to your audience and you're just using the Etsy platform, like I said before, that is totally fine. You are free to do what you wish. All right, let's continue scrolling. A red diamond dog. This was one I was looking at earlier. I couldn't tell if it was a photo of an actual red diamond dog or if they were selling the dog, or it was just a photograph of a statue. I wasn't quite sure, but this one is an ad, so I'm not going to click it out of respect for that seller. And here, this one is titled Breakfast for Fools. And this one is interesting. It has a very bright and eclectic color scheme. And not to say it's bad, this is a classic example of eclectic, junky, not junky in a bad way, but abstract art. There is a whole mess of different textures and techniques applied. I think with some practice and a little more intention, this is a great foundation for abstract art. I personally, you can see it in the corner right there. I'll put up a photo of it, a better photo of it in post, but just kind of letting abstract art be what it is great. I like the color scheme. I think if they were a little more organized with it, like if it was all blues and greens or all pinks and yellows, it would be more cohesive. Or go in the complete opposite direction and put every color of the rainbow and have it be a complete clown car of color. I think with abstract art, you kind of have to go one way or the other. Again, title, you should move the title or the name of the painting into the description and then cram that title with SEO to really get it out there. And this one is a great example of what not to do. I'm not going to check it, but a lot of Etsy listings, you get multiple listing photos. I'd recommend taking photos of the piece in different contexts. Like if you're selling an original painting, maybe hang it on a wall in an area with a lot of natural sunlight, and then hang it in an area that doesn't have a natural sunlight. Hang it, display it with a couple different, what's it called? I guess things to give the painting scale or to give the painting depth, to show like the texture. Is it really glossy? Is it really matte? You want to really show the customer what this painting looks like through your listing photos. And having a photo like this where it is just the painting is great for them to zoom in and get all the details, with one caveat. With these kind of listing photos, you have to make sure there's either a watermark or the quality of the image is not that good. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but you want to make sure it's not full printing DPI. don't just use, like if this is a physical product and they give you the dimensions, but that is not enough to really understand how big it is. So I highly recommend they work on their listing photos, really improve it. And I think this is a great example of abstract art. And I think that with a little more intentionality in it, they can really improve their art skills. All right, I guess we'll look at one more. Let's scroll. There's one I really wanted to talk about, and I actually did. Oh, another dog photo. There are a lot of those. Here, I was looking at this one earlier in my previous take that didn't record the screen, and this, honestly, I love this piece of art. If I had $30,000 to burn, I would be buying it. This is a fantastic example. Their description leaves a little bit to be desired. I think they should give more details. You can go into a little bit of detail about how you made it, what it means to you, and all of that fun stuff. I love how this isn't just a painting, it's welded metal. That is beautiful, letting the material do what it naturally does to create a unique piece of art. Honestly, when I get a house, I want to make art like this. So that is fantastic. And their title, absolutely perfect. They might be able to be a little more specific with their SEO, but I'm not an expert at SEO, but they have the right idea, and their listing photos show the piece. This one, they could probably do a little better, but it shows it in different contexts, in detail, up close, and they really give you a sense of how big this is, since this is a 3-meter long piece of artwork. One thing that might help people is providing the weight. But this is honestly an excellent example of abstract art. It is pricier, but I think the technique and the material is lends to the price of it. Honestly, my recommendation for this artist would be forget about Etsy. You're going to be losing a ton of money in their fees. And I love Etsy. It's a great platform for getting out there, selling your art or your crafts or whatever you do. But they have the potential to be successful in a museum or a studio setting where people come look at their art in a more fine art setting. Or even if they scale down their pieces and sell them at craft fairs and shows, artisan shows, I think they'd have great success. This is an excellent example of art I wish I could afford. Fantastic. All right, hopefully you enjoyed critiquing some art off Etsy with me. I always have tons of fun looking at different art, looking at different creators and what they're doing, and taking inspiration from them. It is important to know that everyone's on their own little art journey, and everyone is learning and growing and trying to do their best. So I had fun looking at these. Hopefully you had fun looking at these. I know this is a little different from the content I've been making, but I have a ton of art-related ideas that I want to go through. I want to start critiquing more art, and I'm trying to do it in a kind way, but I want to be honest as well. So hopefully I hit the mark with this one, and if you enjoyed, do the thing, like, comment, subscribe. I really enjoyed filming this one, so I'm probably going to do a few more, or at least a few more, probably more than that. We'll see how I feel. This is all Paige doing what she does. So with that, have a good one, stay creative, and keep at it.